All right, 2014 Honda Accord 2.0. This actually is a CVT transmission, and the designation is a BC5A. So this is the transmission out of the car. So the story with this is this came from a wholesale account over the counter, and I'll get to all that in a minute. But the car, I believe, what he was telling me, really didn't move that great, or it stopped moving when it got hot, or it just didn't move at all that great. It had a code for a start clutch performance, and that's usually what the car takes off on. Pretty common for those to go bad. But when he had the pan down, there's only a couple of bolts in the pan, but he said there was a lot of crap on the magnet, so something probably broke up in there. They don't want to go for a reman transmission or anything like that. They kind of wanted to go the cheapest way out, so he got a used transmission, and he's doing the job over there. But the reason why I got the car here is because the used transmission, here is the linkage, and this is where the neutral switch goes. I'll give you a close-up shot of this, and this is broken off of the used transmission when it's going to be going in the car. It's got probably like 80,000 miles on it. So I got to take this piece of linkage out, which should be accessible, just taking this cover off. But I also want to, there's only 2 bolts in the pan, so I want to take the pan off and show you the pan also. And we should be able to lift this right off. I don't have the replacement transmission yet. He may be bringing it later. He may be bringing it tomorrow morning, I'm not sure. But at least we can take this thing apart and, you know, just put it back together. Of course, is a reverse procedure, but I don't know if I'll be able to do that with you guys. So I want to at least do this, you know, on camera, so you can kind of get a little view of a Honda CVT. We don't really get these here. I think this is maybe the second one. You know, they're pretty good transmissions, I would think, because we never get calls on Honda CVTs. We get calls, Nissan CVTs, 5 a week, every single week. So let me give you a close-up shot of this, and then what we'll do is I'll flip this thing up on its back, and we'll take the pan down. I'll show you the pan, put the pan back, because I don't really have to have that down, because the linkage is just like a short stubby thing. We got to take the 10mm bolt out, and then this piece will slide out. But I can show you what it looks like with the bell housing off. We'll get the linkage out, and like I said, I don't know if he's gonna bring me the transmission. If he is, we can maybe pull it apart tomorrow morning or something. But let me get a little closer, and I'll show you the fill, the check. And, you know, I was just watching a video on ShopKey, because you know, with Honda transmissions, you got to have the car on level ground, and you check it with the engine off, with the automatics, with the typical automatics that you see the teardown videos on. So I wanted to watch a video on this, a couple-minute video on ShopKey Pro, which is, you know, Mitchell on demand, and to show the correct procedure to check the fluid level. So when I'm watching the video, you know, obviously I guess they're filling it through here, because there is no dipstick, so they don't really show where they're filling it, but it says a little sticky here. It says Honda HCF-2 required fluid, so it's their CVT fluid. So you fill it through there, and then I can always look it up, see how many quarts it takes. I don't know, the converter is out, and maybe takes 6-7 quarts. And then they want you to start it up, foot on the brake, and hold each gear, put it in reverse, neutral, drive, maybe in the lower gears like 3 and 2, hold each one 3 seconds, put it back in the park, shut the engine off, raise it up, and pull the check plug out. And see if you have a steady stream coming out. If you do, then the transmission is full, and of course if you do not, they want you to put the plug back in, fill it again, go through the procedure, reverse, neutral, drive, back to park, shut it off, raise it up, and take the check plug out. I'll give you a close-up shot of where that check plug is. It's on an angle until you have a steady stream coming out. So let me get a little closer. I'll kind of just show you this, and I'll show you where the check plug is. I could show you also when the bell housing is off too. But let me just kind of show you this up here, and then we can start. We'll pull it apart tonight because I got about a half an hour before I got to go home. All right, so let me get a little closer and we'll start. Okay, so real quick, here is the linkage that we're going to be swapping over, because again, this piece here where the neutral switch goes in, this is typical Honda linkage. You know, if this is squeezed together too much, you may have a problem. It may actually set codes. It did happen to me on one occasion, and I just kind of stuck a screwdriver in here and very carefully, because this is brittle, spread it apart a little, put the switch back on, and it was good. The code didn't come back. All right, so you want to watch that. So this is the piece of linkage we're going to be getting out. Now let me just bring this down a little bit. All right, there is where you fill it. Also, there's the designation, the BC5A. And let me bring the camera down a little more. And there is the check plug. Right here. So that's what you want to take off. And make sure you have a steady stream coming out. And again, he did check it with the engine off, so level ground, well, it would be up on a lift, not level ground. You know, the automatics have the dipstick, so that would be on level ground, and you pull the stick out and engine off. And the reason why the automatics, you check with the engine off, because remember, you got gears running around in there, so the gears were splashing, the gears had a tendency to splash the fluid onto the stick, and maybe up here for it to be full. So we always check the Honda's engine off, level ground. All right, this has to be on a lift, so of course it's got to be leveled on a lift. But there is the check plug. All right, so let me reposition, and then we can pull the pan down. I'll give you a look at that, and then we'll pull the bell housing off and pull the linkage out. All right, let me get these bolts out here. Bolts left in here. Okay. All right, so here again is the check plug. There it is there. Right in here. Okay. Gasket. And this is the linkage here that we got to take out. Let me see if I can reposition and get a little closer up here. Never really worked on one of these before, to be honest with you, but you know, it doesn't seem too bad pulling the linkage out. Let me just reposition and get closer up on that linkage here. Okay, let's take that detent off. Pin. I'm going to pull out. All right, now, pretty much the only thing we got left here is we're going to, just like on the Honda linkages, I'm going to put that pin out of the way and kick the bolt out and should be able to slide it out. All right, so let's get move the tab out of the way. That's the word I was looking for. chrome socket in there. Let's see. Thought I had it ready. I don't know what the heck I did with it. Here it is. Okay. Okay. So we'll move this, get on it. It's like the outside linkage of a Honda on the regular automatics that I do. Oop, I dropped this stupid thing in there. Okay. Magnet. This fit down in there? Yeah. Okay. All right, I got it. There it is. This thing. Okay. Now, it should slide right out. There we go. That's what we need. All right, so to put it back on, you're gonna take the bell house. Oh boy. Oh, you know what? Here's the problem right here. Wow. Okay. Let me show you what I found. Take it out. You know, pretty simple ordeal. Put it back in. All right. Here's the transfer gear, and then here is the diff. Check out the. Oh boy. Yeah. This is shot. If you can see the spider gears. That one spider gear in there. There's a problem. There's a piece of it there. Okay. Let's take a look at the pan, because there's only 2 bolts in the pan. All right, so here's a chain that drives the pump, but let's take a look at the pan. Let's see what we got in the pan. Now let me back her up a little bit. Okay. Oh yeah, look at all that crap there. Here's the filter. There's probably a temp sensor, solenoids. Not bad. Got actual dowels in the pan. Got a magnet here, drain on the magnet there. As you know, these things with the steel belts, they tend to make metal, you know, very fine metal. All right, so he was saying this thing barely moved, but you know, this is more like if you will go around a turn. You know, when these spiders kick in. But the pin is shot. Oh, the pin actually is broken. Let me take this back. But the cross pin is broken. Let me bring this down a little bit here. So this, if you can see this, this is moving. See, here's the cross pin here. So this is all broken here. Okay, well, that's probably the trouble. He said it wouldn't move. And you know something? You know what's funny? He called me Well, when I was asking him some history on it, he said we did an axle, and then shortly after that, it stopped moving. So this thing must have been on its way out. There was probably playing that axle. Maybe it was leaking, but you know, yeah, this is definitely, the pin is just sheared off on both sides. Haven't seen that in a long time. That used to happen to Hondas back in the day. Okay, so we got a dowel here, dowel here. Let's see if we can get the one out of the case. I don't think I'm gonna have this transmission probably till tomorrow. This is stuck. I got it. Okay. Now this dowel will go here. Okay. Let's see, how is this gonna go? This is gonna go like this. All right, now let's get this bell housing back on. Gasket was a little bit bent out of shape, but okay, that worked out good. Okay. Bolts in. Just find my 12 socket is okay. All right, so that's all for now. On the 16 Honda Accord, if I can get the other tranny here and do this, that would be great. I'll do it with you guys. If not, 2014 Honda Accord, all I really got to do is take the bell housing off and just switch the linkage. Because this piece, he said, was broken off one day. I guess they were matching everything up. So he's supposed to get the other tranny here. I said I wanted to see this one because, you know, I really never worked on one of these and, you know, wanted to experiment with the bad one. But research I did and stuff, you know, it was pretty straightforward, fairly simple to do. We saw the diff was no good. I'll let them know also what I found. All right, so real quick, here is the replacement, the used one that's going in. I popped off the bell housing, but I gotta just let him know what's going on with this. I don't know if he noticed or not. So I have the piece in, I didn't put the bolt in yet, but your neutral safety switch goes here, and this is broken off, where the bolt would go for the neutral switch. There's one on this side, I mean, it'll probably be okay. This is the linkage that I had to replace, and here is the switch off of that too. Also, on the bell housing, the vent is broken off. So I'm probably thinking I'm gonna probably have to make maybe one out of the two here, but I don't have time to do this now because I want to get a couple of things done before these guys start strolling in about an hour. But I just kind of wanted to give you a shot of this one here. but I'm gonna actually be putting this stuff aside at the moment. So here is the replacement, the diff, everything looks good. I checked all the bearings here, whatever I can have look at, but seems okay. And once again, that's it for this 14 Honda Accord 2.4 CVT. Basically doing a linkage swap, and looks like I'm gonna probably have to do a bell housing swap too. So I'm gonna have to take this one back apart and probably transfer the shims over from this unit for the transfer gear. I don't think there's anything in the diff, and there's nothing here. Not in this one. I'm going to take this one back apart again to look. And that's it on this CVT. So I'm going to be putting it aside now, but again, just want to give you a quick shot of that. And once again, I thank you guys for watching. Have a great day, and we will see you next one.